Hi, and welcome to the Conscious Co-Creation Challenge. I'm Tracy Goody, your practical ascension guide. So on day one today, we're just getting started and starting to understand what it is you want to create and beginning to create that connection. So whenever you are deciding what it is you want to create for any time period, and you can choose to either go with a specific time period or just kind of leave it open. That's totally your call here. But what we want to look at is kind of the emotional connection to what it is you wish to create. So we're going to do an exercise in just a moment to connect into that energy and see what's coming up as the highest priority for you to create. Now, before we do that, I just want to talk a little bit about what you really want to get specific on whenever you are coming up with a creation and intention, and then what you want to leave a little bit more flexible. So whenever you are creating an intention, a specific area that you want to focus on for your co-creation that you want to bring to fruition, want to bring into your life, you want to be really specific with your energetic emotions of it. So how is it going to feel whenever this desire comes to fruition? How are you going to feel whenever it's just a normal everyday part of your life? So you want to get really nice and specific on that. So again, we're going to do a little bit more of an exercise to get into that energy. Now, for being flexible, I always recommend to be flexible about the circumstances. So instead of saying, say for example, your intention was like business success, all right? So now that's pretty broad. So you want to get it down into exactly what does business success mean to me and how does that feel to me? Most importantly, how does that feel to me? If I was to fast forward where this has already happened for me, where I'm exactly where I want to be, things feel exactly how I want them to feel, how does that feel? And allow yourself to really get into that vibration in every sense of the word. Just really feel it in your body, every single cell. And so that's the specific aspect. So again, so let's say your intention is business success. The part of that intention that's better to kind of leave open is exactly how it's going to come to you. So as opposed to saying, okay, well, that means that I need to do this step first of getting this many email subscribers, and then this step of getting this many people in this program. Whenever you have specific parameters, it kind of puts limits and resistance on what the universe can actually deliver to you because it's based on what you'll allow. So if your belief says that I need to have this many email subscribers and this many people in to get to that business success that I want, then it restricts things. As opposed to when you're just focusing on the energy and the emotion of it, the universe is going to get that to you in the fastest path possible for it to get there. All right, let me refer back to my notes here. I want to make sure I'm not missing out on anything. So we talked about being specific and being open as well, having a balance of those two. And we're going to talk more tomorrow in day 2 about trust and expectation and how that all plays together. So whenever you are focusing your co-creations more so on how you feel as opposed to how it's going to get to you, or even the specifics around it, you're going to be just creating this open receiving energy for the universe so that these things can come to you. All right, so your vibrational alignment realistically is what your goal is, because as soon as you have the vibrational alignment, all the parts and pieces come together and it comes into your life in whatever amazing ways it needs to. All right, so your vibrational alignment, top priority. So we're going to get into a bit of an exercise and a visualization here. So if your information comes through in visual, in sound, in a feeling, in a knowing, it doesn't matter how this information comes through to you, but just trust what comes up for you. So we're going to do a bit of a connection around what your highest priority is to create right now. And you may already have some indication of this, or even like I said, you might have an example like business success, but really understand what does that mean to you and how does that feel? That's the piece that we really want to pull together today. All right, so if you are at a time and a place that you are able to be grounded and be present in this, just kind of clicking away from any other tabs or anything like that that you have open, and just be present with this exercise for a moment. And if you are in a place where you're able to, obviously don't do this when you're driving, just begin breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, just working with the pace that's comfortable for you. And as you're doing this, just beginning to visualize this crystal diamond energy light coming in through your heart chakra as you breathe in. And then as you exhale, it's rinsing out your energy system. And as you're exhaling, that energy is going down past the soles of your feet into the earth. We're just starting to come to center here, starting to get present. Just take a few more breaths here. And we're just shaking off and letting go of anything that you've been holding on to. We're just setting that aside for right now. And we're going to start to wake up those lower chakras, those more grounded chakras, because we want to feel these emotions in our body. So you can have your hand over your stomach or your sacral chakra, just kind of low on your belly. Breathing here and just visualizing energy now, that crystal diamond energy coming in through your solar plexus and sacral. And then as you exhale down through the soles of your feet. So again, we're just waking up those lower chakras, waking up those creation centers. There's so much work done on the upper chakras when we're doing this spiritual and co-creation work that we really have to balance it with this grounded, energetic, emotional connection. Very good. Focusing on those lower chakras, visualizing that diamond light coming in to cleanse and clear them, get them nice and active, get them moving and processing information. And then as you exhale, visualize that energy going down right past the soles of your feet through the layers of the earth, all the way into the center of the earth. Getting grounded and centered. Now we're going to go ahead and just begin to open up the energy around you as well, and through the upper chakras. So visualizing that same diamond light, just coming in here, setting the intention that your crown chakra begin to open and expand, connecting you into your highest potential, connecting you into your higher self. Just visualize that crown chakra open and expand, and whether you notice, feel, sense, see, or hear information, or you're not noticing much of anything, it's perfectly fine. Just allow the process to unfold. Allow that crown chakra to open. Visualize this diamond column of light coming down from the crown of your head, opening and expanding these upper chakras. And just feel that supportive source connection coming down all the way past your throat chakra, your heart, pulling that down to your solar plexus and sacral and root, and then just sending that down into the center of the earth. Setting the intention that you are open and that you are calling forth an energy cleansing. And again, we just want to visualize setting down anything that's going on in your mind, any of the hows, any of the what ifs. We just want to set those down for this time being and just allow this pure connection into your higher self and this deep grounded connection into the earth to balance. When we're co-creating, we're bringing the non-physical down into the physical, creating it in this 3D earth reality. So a balance of these two, this connection intuitive above, where you have your wisdom, you have your brilliance, you know exactly what to do. Connect it down and ground it into your physical body where you can take the inspired action. Now again, just placing your hand over your, there's some guides coming in here, so I'm sorry, just set the intention too that you are open to working with your highest vibrational guides. Some of them are coming in to deliver messages here. All right, so now just focusing around your sacral chakra, so just below your belly button, and you can have your hand there if it feels right. And breathing into this creative space, knowing that you have an amazing gift of creativity, an amazing gift to co-create with the divine. And you may want to have one hand over your sacral, one hand on your heart. Breathing and feeling this connection for a moment. I choose to raise my vibration. I choose to be grounded and present. I choose to feel connected to Source. And you can replace that with God, the universe, Goddess, whatever feels good to you there. I choose to co-create from a place that is highest and best for me and everyone involved. And I want to repeat that again. I choose to co-create from a place that is highest and best for me and all involved. And that kind of just covers your bases. All right, so focusing on this space. And we're going to set the intention that your guides drop down an image, a visual, a sound, or a sensation. So I'll stay silent for a moment after I repeat the question a few times and just see what comes up for you and mark it down. What is highest and best for me to focus on co-creating? What is highest and best for me to focus on co-creating? What will create the biggest positive impact? What will create the biggest positive impact? So one more time, then I'll stay silent for a moment. What is highest and best for me to focus on co-creating? What will create the biggest positive impact? Just see what comes up for you here. And just continue keeping your breathing steady and just notice what comes up, whether it's fully formed or just a piece. And continue to work with that energy. Even if it's just a piece of it, even if just a glimpse. Now setting the intention for you to do a bit of a jump. So now just asking, what would it feel like if this came to fruition? What emotions would I be feeling if this came to fruition? What would I be saying about myself? What would my I am statements be? Maybe I am confident, I am grounded, I am present. What emotions would I be feeling? Inspired, expansive? See what comes up for you here. So now just visualizing this future self where these things have already come to pass. How is she feeling? What is she thinking about herself? And if you do notice any fears and doubts, you can just mark those down on the side. We're going to deal with them later on in the challenge. But for now, we're just focusing on the positive emotions and the positive I am statements that might be coming up for you here. So I'll stay silent for another moment. Focusing on your future self. How is she feeling? What is she thinking about herself? All right, so if you need a little bit of extra time, feel free to pause the video. But for now, just paying attention to how you felt in that vibration. And like I said, if resistance came up, fears and doubts came up, just mark that down. We're going to deal with it later in the challenge. But for now, we're just focusing on the empowered emotions, the empowered feelings that are coming up in I am statements. So from what you just received, the information you just received there about clarity about what to co-create and how you're going to feel as that's created, that gives you a jumping off point to create an anchor. So to create something that either reminds you of your commitment, so say if you're with that business success example, having an anchor like a vision board or writing in a journal every single day or having a few post-it notes up around that reminds you of your commitment, that's going to help to begin to anchor that emotion and that vibration. So that's your first part of this challenge here, is to connect to the desired emotional state of that which you desire to co-create. So you're just allowing yourself, you don't have to be connected to this all day long, but you are carving out specific time in the day where you're connecting to that emotion. My favorite way to do that is just to do some journaling. I have just a small size journal, and I will just write out as though I am already my future self. Oh, I'm so happy that this worked out this way, or it's amazing how things just turned out, so that I'm feeling this way. And so I'm just getting really clear about how I'm feeling, and I'm allowing myself to really get into the vibration of that. And it's amazing how whenever you start to create that energetic connection, the things that you don't have resistance towards will happen immediately. If you have resistance, it's going to take a little bit more kind of deep dive and more work to get through the resistance to really allow it to come to fruition. But for the things that you don't have resistance on, that you don't have conditioning about, or that you've already worked through, those things can come to pass very, very, very quickly whenever you have this energetic, emotional connection to it. So your first priority here too is to create an environment within you where that co-creation can be allowed, where you can draw that into you. So your internal environment is what's really key today, making sure that you are feeling that energetic connection, that clear energetic connection to what you want. You don't need the house, you don't need the details, you don't need the specific circumstances that are going to bring it to you. All that you need is that energetic connection. All right, so your first assignment for today is to anchor that energetic connection. So complete the exercise that we just did on this video, and you may want to repeat it again. You may want to pause it if you need some extra time and space for that, but then find a way to anchor that. So like I said, I journal it, you can vision board it, you can do post-it notes, you can set an alarm on your phone that you're going to tune in energetically and connect to it. But something that you can do that's very simple. Don't make it a big 1 hour process that you have to complete every morning, because chances are you're going to fall off of that. Make it something simple and doable. My journaling takes me about 3 minutes a day, and it energetically aligns me to what I want to co-create. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me on day 1 of your Conscious Co-Creation Challenge, and I will see you on day 2.